Big Detective Jim Brannigan takes on London, Chicago style. Welcome everyone. This week I have a request. So Murray, this one's for you. This week we're going back to 1975 for an action thriller film called Brannigan, starring John Wayne, Richard Attenborough, Judy Geeson, Mel Ferrer, and John Vernon. And this is directed by Douglas Hickox. I hope you enjoy this week's story. This week it begins in Chicago with tough police detective Jim Brannigan, played by John Wayne. Captain Moretti, Chicago PD, has just put out an APB to pick up Brannigan, stating, "Use a forklift if you have to." Brannigan is in the midst of shaking down an informant using persuasive methods, trying to find the whereabouts of notorious mobster Ben Larkin, played by John Vernon. Picked up by Chicago's finest, the captain informs Jim that Larkin has skipped town, sending Jim to London to extradite him. Meanwhile in London, Larkin meets with his lawyer, Mel Fields, played by Mel Ferrer, who tells him Brannigan is being sent over with extradition papers and handcuffs. Not wanting that big Irishman to interfere with their plans, Mel and Larkin decide on a hitman named Gorman to take care of things. At the airport, Brannigan is greeted by Detective Sergeant Jennifer Thatcher, played by Judy Geeson from Scotland Yard. Unexpectedly, while at a health club, Larkin is kidnapped by two thugs, easily getting past his bodyguard. Next, Judy takes Brannigan to the Garrick Club and meets with Commander Sir Charles Swan, played by Richard Attenborough. At the club, Commander Swan and Brannigan are informed that the notorious mobster Larkin has just been kidnapped. Meanwhile, Gorman picks up his money for the hit, while Larkin's finger is cut off and mailed to the police to prove how serious the kidnappers are. Searching for a place to stay, Thatcher and Brannigan are tailed by Gorman in his black Jaguar E-Type, and the next day, the kidnappers have sent a tape. Larkin states they want 5 envelopes stuffed with £50,000 each to be dropped in a mailbox at Piccadilly Circus. The ransom is dropped by Mel, while Brannigan in Scotland Yard waits for the pickup, only to be fooled by a mailbox with a false bottom. After an unsuccessful and frustrating day, Brannigan heads home to 2 of Gorman's unexpected presents. Yes, a deadly greeting at the door, and a new bathroom with a view. So, does bugging a lawyer's car help Thatcher and Brannigan? Are Mel and mobster Larkin working with the kidnappers? Or does a persistent hitman earn his money? Released March 26, 1975 in the US, this was the only British-produced film of John Wayne's 50-year career. The story and screenplay was written by American television writer, screenwriter, and playwright Christopher Trumbo, considered an expert on the McCarthy-era Hollywood blacklist. User reviews make such claims as entertaining John Wayne film in the Dirty Harry scheme of things, and exciting, fast-paced, and slickly directed. Yes, it is. And filmmakers Quentin Tarantino and Edgar Wright have praised the film. I think so. It's a great underdog of a detective movie, and I'll put up 2 more as links that are detective stories I did on my channel. Please click the links for Tony Rome from 1967, that stars Frank Sinatra, and Fuzz from 1972, that stars Burt Reynolds. And our trivia question this week: during his stay in London, did John Wayne meet someone for the first time? During his stay in London, did John Wayne meet someone for the first time? So a little more history, the answer to our trivia question, coming up next. In our film, there is a car chase between a Jaguar Mark II and a Ford Capri on the Tower Bridge, making the Tower Bridge the subject of this week's history. So the Tower Bridge, a bascule and suspension bridge, is one of London's most iconic landmarks. By the late 19th century, the population and commercial development in the East End of London was increasing, leading to demand for a new river crossing downstream of London Bridge to ease congestion and traffic. A traditional fixed bridge at street level could not be built because it would cut off access by sailing ships to the port facilities in the Pool of London. On February 10, 1876, the Corporation of London asked the City Bridge Foundation to establish the Special Bridge or Subway Committee to explore its possibilities. 3 options for the design of a tower bridge were unveiled by Sir Horace Jones, architect surveyor to the City of London. In collaboration with civil engineer Sir John Wolfe-Barry, a new design was proposed, recommending a bascule bridge with a central opening span. On August 14, 1885, a bill to allow the bridge's construction was presented to Parliament and passed. April 22, 1886, the day workers broke ground and construction of the Tower Bridge began. Sir John Wolfe-Barry was appointed chief engineer on the project. Horace Jones passed away just 1 year into construction, leaving Barry to complete the project over the next 8 years. Yes, constructed between 1886 and 1894, this complex structure required specific expertise in its design, construction, and maintenance. The foundations of the bridge had to be built into the beds of the River Thames so the bridge wouldn't wobble. The vast steel structure had to be designed and constructed, famous granite and stone had to be cut and carved, and windows needed to be made and fitted. Over 2,000 people were involved in making the many tons of stone, brick, and steel, including 5 major contractors and the relentless labor of 432 construction workers each day. Over 11,000 tons of steel provided the framework, with riveting teams installing over 13 million red-hot rivets. The Prince of Wales opens Tower Bridge at 12 p.m. June 30th, 1894, opening for pedestrian traffic until 9 p.m. Around 141,460 pedestrians crossed the Tower Bridge on this day, and the bridge lifted 13 times for 15 ships. And once more in 1975 for a great car chase. And the answer to our trivia question this week: during his stay in London, did John Wayne meet someone for the first time? Yes, and it was one of my favorite actresses. Yes, during his stay in London, John Wayne met American actress Katharine Hepburn for the first time. Katharine was also in London for a film shoot, Love Among the Ruins from 1975, with Sir Laurence Olivier. Hepburn made a point of introducing herself to Wayne, a man she admired greatly despite their obvious political differences, and the meeting led to their only movie pairing in the American Western film Rooster Cogburn from 1975. I'll be doing that film at some point on my channel. I'd like to give a big thank... Oh, excuse me. Hello? Oh, Brannigan. Thanks for watching, everyone. What now?